The ceasefire lie Israel and America's war they never intended to end. They call it a ceasefire. But how do you cease fire when the fire never stops? Every pause becomes a prelude. Every promise of peace becomes another setup for more smoke, more rubble, more bodies pulled from beneath the dust. It is not peace, it is a pause to reload. Each time the world is told, this time it will be different. But it never is. Because power never wanted peace, it wanted control. And the United States, the loudest voice for stability, is always the one handing them the match. They speak of treaties while the ink is still wet with blood. They shake hands on camera while drones hum in the background. They call it negotiation, but it's strategy. They call it diplomacy, but it's deceit. This ceasefire, it's not a path to peace. It's a curtain pulled over a battlefield, a theatrical pause so the world can look away, so the weapons can be restocked, so the plans can continue. Plans to empty Gaza, to make it unlivable, to erase a people by exhausting their will to live. Trump stood there in the Knesset, proud and unapologetic, boasting how Netanyahu had been asking for weapons and how America made sure he got every single one he asked for. And then he said it. He used them well. Used them well. As if crushing families beneath collapsed homes were a demonstration of skill. As if the charred remains of hospitals were a sign of strength. As if the cries of mothers were music to his ears. And now, with the same iron tongue, he threatens Hamas, saying if they do not disarm, he will disarm them by force. He even warned Israel could return to the streets of Gaza as soon as I say the word. This is not mediation, it is a countdown. This ceasefire, it was never meant to last. It was a lure, a trick, a cruel illusion. The goal was simple: get their hostages back, then finish the job, clear the land, erase the people, and call it security. I am certain, and my certainty terrifies me, that they will look for any reason to restart the war. They will amplify incidents, twist stories, and call every tragic outcome a necessary cost of victory. But this is not collateral damage. It is the deliberate remaking of a land so that those who remain cannot live there anymore. That is ethnic cleansing in practice, not a policy of defense, but a policy of erasure. To say it plainly, this is a plan to remove people from their homes, to rewrite history, and to deny entire families the future they deserve. We must name it, expose it, and stand against it. And now, even inside Israel, cracks are showing. Netanyahu sells this as survival, even as pressure mounts at home and abroad. His own defense minister has instructed the military to prepare a comprehensive plan to defeat Hamas if the war is renewed. A plan ready to activate the moment the deal is judged broken. That is not the architecture of peace. It is the scaffolding of a resumed assault. And America, the land that preaches freedom and human rights, will smile as it ships the next round of missiles. It will call it support. It will call it defense. But defense doesn't look like this. Defense doesn't bury thousands of children. Defense doesn't starve a population trapped behind walls. Defense doesn't turn hospitals into graveyards. This is not defense. This is complicity. And the world, the same world that once said, never again, is watching it happen again in real time. Another people being cornered, branded, broken, and erased, this time in Gaza. Look at Gaza now. Does this look like peace to you? Endless smoke rising where homes once stood, families sleeping under broken concrete, children digging through ash for their brothers. This is not peace, it's survival amid ruin. They tell us militants hide among civilians, a line repeated until belief replaces doubt. But then the practical questions press in. Where are the bodies that were promised? Israel insists more remains are accessible. Hamas says it has returned all it can reach, and that the rest lie beneath mountains of rubble, needing heavy equipment and time. Even the Red Cross has called recovery a massive challenge. These are not excuses from the living. They are the limits of physics amid a sea of ruins. And while the world is told aid is flowing, the truth is harsher, a trickle against a famine. Humanitarian leaders say Gaza needs a massive surge, thousands of trucks weekly, yet bottlenecks and closures keep the north starving, hospitals failing, and disease spreading. A ceasefire that cannot feed the living will not dignify the dead. Are we to believe that every single street, every single home, every single hospital, and every single school was converted into a battlefield? Is that plausible that every classroom, every bed, every kitchen was somehow also a weapons cache? What a lie that is. A lie repeated until people stop questioning it. And because that lie is easier to believe than the horror of deliberate destruction, the world repeats it. How can one nation hold such control over the story the world sees? How can a single narrative dominate every screen, turning grief into propaganda, turning outrage into silence? The media, instead of exposing the truth, bends it, rephrasing the massacre as conflict, calling the ruins targets, placing the blame not on those who bomb, but on those who bleed. Do you see it yet? Do you feel it? This is not balance. This is distortion. And every distorted headline becomes another wound in the heart of justice. But silence is betrayal. Silence is how genocide breathes. Silence is how the word ceasefire becomes a cruel joke. A word painted over graves. No, there is no peace in this. There never was. There is only the illusion of it, crafted by men in suits, funded by nations who profit from suffering, and sold to the world as diplomacy. If there were truly peace, children would not be born into blockades. Doctors would not perform surgeries by flashlight. Parents would not wrap their babies in white cloth instead of blankets. Peace does not look like this. Peace is not built on bones. And tonight, in Gaza, the silence is heavy. It sits on the ruins of schools, on the broken beds of hospitals, on the doorsteps where children once waited for fathers who will never return. The wind carries the dust of homes that no longer exist. Mothers dig with bare hands through concrete and glass, searching not for victory, only for what is left of love. And still, the world debates numbers and language as if statistics could bury sorrow, as if diplomacy could resurrect the dead. But the cries from Gaza cannot be negotiated away. They echo through every conscience that still remembers what it means to be human. The world cannot stay blind forever, because the truth, no matter how buried, always rises from the dust. And when it does, it will ask one question of us all. When they were dying, what did you do?